hurt you that she's around your children?
It does not hurt me, no. More than anything, I go into protective mode. Like, I'm never going to trust someone who adored my family setup so much that they worked their ass to come between it. Of course, with the help of him, but still.
Hey, our children are perfectly fine.
Like I said, for me, knowing that they are around someone who has said such nasty and vile things about their mother and about
all those babysitters that you had, 11 babysitters
who said multiple things
you know
about their father.
11
See how
babysitters.
he defends her? He's bringing up something directly at me when I'm talking about a person who has, for years, as he knows, tried to torture and come in between our marriage, DMing me. See, he knows all of those things, and I can keep going. So when he sits there and tries to defend, how dare you?
For months, fans have been waiting for Carlos King to say anything about the never-ending drama between Martell Holt and Melody Shari. The tension has been thick. The silence has been loud. And now Carlos is finally breaking it. After standing on the sidelines, watching this messy fallout play out in public, the man who helped make Love and Marriage, Huntsville what it is today is speaking from the heart, and trust me, he's not holding back this time. Because what Carlos just revealed doesn't just expose Martell's revenge, it shows the heartbreaking truth about what fame, pride, and bitterness can do to someone who once had everything. This isn't your regular TV drama anymore. This is real. This is raw. And the truth Carlos King just dropped might be the final nail in the coffin for Martell's reputation.
Life is good, God is good, okay? So, in case you missed the other live earlier, I need a bag, so I had to... So, in real life, I always call Marlo, okay? I always call Marlo when I'm out shopping because she is my person. So, you know, y'all get a chance to see who I am in my real life, not stuff you hear about.
But before we get into what Carlos said and why it has everyone talking, let's rewind, because to really understand this story, you have to know how it all began. Before reality TV, before the cheating scandals and viral reunions, Martell Holt and Melody Shari were Huntsville's power couple. They were the dream team, smart, successful, and deeply in love. Together, they built businesses, raised a family, and showed the world what Black excellence could look like in a small southern city. When Love and Marriage, Huntsville first hit OWN, people saw a beautiful family with ambition and class. But behind the smiles, there was trouble. And that trouble would soon explode in front of millions.
Stop being the victim all the time.
Ooh,
it gets on my nerves.
So everybody just heard everything Martell said.
No, because
said I'm playing the victim.
I wish one day people will see the person that you really are. You throw all the damn stones and hide your hands and be the victim. Because when we start going through stuff, I told you what you weren't doing in the marriage.
Martell had been unfaithful for years. Melody tried to forgive. She tried to hold the marriage together for their children and their legacy. But no matter how hard she tried, Martell kept finding his way back to the same destructive pattern. And when the truth finally came out, the affair, the baby, the lies, it shattered everything. Viewers watched as Melody's heart broke on camera. They saw the strength it took for her to walk away. They saw her rebuild her life piece by piece. But while Melody was trying to move forward, Martell seemed stuck in the past. Instead of taking accountability, he went on the attack. He criticized her parenting. He made shady comments in interviews.
Listen, this show means a lot to Melissa. In a very different way of what it means to Teresa. I think, to your point, listen, I think anybody who watches the show can see that Melissa wants to be the top dog, and she has trouble with Teresa constantly winning in the end. And this, I'm gonna tell you, it was the season where Danielle Staub, one of my favorites of all time.
Yes,
it was the season where Danielle Staub, unfortunately, Melissa, like, Teresa told me to pull the hair. What I saw was this excitement of Melissa getting the tea. Like, well, she did what? And I think in Melissa's mind, she was like, oh, baby, it's going down.
And according to insiders, He even tried to sabotage her career after the divorce. The public watched it all unravel: his temper, his pride, his desperate attempts to stay in control. And through it all, Carlos King stayed silent. Fans couldn't understand why. Carlos is known for being outspoken. He's the creator of the show, the man who brought Martell and Melody's story to television. But he stayed quiet. Not a tweet. Not a statement. Nothing. Until now. Carlos King has finally had enough. In a new interview, the reality TV mastermind opened up about Martell's behavior, and the words he used were sharp, honest, and full of disappointment.
Playing mind games, that's just what he does. Like him showing up here today with these flowers, this smile on his face like Prince Charming, when we all know that he's responsible for all of the stuff happening on social media pertaining to me. That could change people's opinions about me by him giving these false narratives. He's responsible for that.
He didn't come to sugarcoat anything, he came to tell the truth. Carlos said, "When you watch someone like Martell self-destruct, it's painful. Because you see the potential. You see the talent. But you also see the pride, the ego, the refusal to grow. And that's what's destroying him." Those words hit hard. Carlos went on to say that Martell's biggest downfall isn't the cheating, it's his inability to take accountability. He explained that after the divorce, Martell became obsessed with controlling the narrative. Instead of healing, he was focused on revenge. He wanted to make Melody look bad, to embarrass her, to hurt her in the same way he was hurting inside. And here's where things get dark. Carlos confirmed what fans had long suspected: Martell wasn't just angry, he was vindictive. He didn't just want closure. He wanted power. Carlos described how, over the years, he's seen Martell repeat the same cycle: blame, deflect, attack. Every time he's given an opportunity to change, he doubles down. Instead of apologizing, he finds a new target. Instead of healing, he creates chaos. According to Carlos, this isn't just reality TV drama. It's a real-life pattern that's eating away at Martell's soul. He said, "At some point, you have to look in the mirror and realize you're not fighting your ex, you're fighting yourself." And those words? They shook the fan base to its core. Because let's be honest, Martell used to be the star. He was charming, confident, and charismatic. But now, fans barely recognize the man they once admired. His public outbursts, his reckless interviews, his constant jabs at Melody, they've all turned him into a villain. And while Melody has stayed focused on her children and her career, Martell seems trapped in a loop of resentment. Carlos talked about this too. He said that what makes this situation so sad is that Martell had every opportunity to rebuild. He could have used his platform to grow, to show maturity, to set an example for other men going through divorce. Instead, he chose bitterness. Carlos didn't mince words. He said, "When you let revenge drive your decisions, you lose yourself." Martell isn't fighting for love anymore. He's fighting to win. And nobody wins that way. The interview only got deeper from there. Carlos revealed that during the show's filming, there were moments when he tried to guide Martell privately to talk to him man-to-man and help him see how his actions were affecting his image and his kids. But Martell didn't listen. He thought everyone was against him, Carlos said. But the truth is, people were trying to save him from himself. That line hit people hard. Because if you've followed the show, you've seen it too: Martell pushing away friends, co-stars, and even family members who tried to hold him accountable. It's like he's at war with anyone who doesn't tell him what he wants to hear. And Carlos finally said what everyone's been thinking: Martell's biggest enemy is Martell. But here's the twist nobody expected. Carlos also admitted that, as a producer, he struggled with how much to show. Reality TV walks a fine line between entertainment and exploitation. And when someone is spiraling, it becomes hard to tell where to draw the line. Carlos said there were moments during filming when he had to step back, not as a producer but as a human being. Watching Martell unravel wasn't fun anymore. It was heartbreaking. He said, "It's easy for people to call him toxic, but when you sit across from him, you realize he's in pain. Deep pain. And instead of dealing with it, he lashes out. That raw honesty gave fans a new perspective. Because maybe, beneath all the arrogance and anger, Martell is a man who never learned how to handle loss. He lost his marriage. He lost his image. He lost control. And now, he's losing the one thing he still had: public sympathy. Carlos's interview became the talk of social media. Fans flooded the comments, praising him for finally saying what needed to be said. One fan wrote, "Carlos spoke nothing but truth. Martell needs to hear this before it's too late." Another said, "You can tell Carlos cares about Martell, but he's done enabling him. It's tough love." But not everyone agreed. Some fans accused Carlos of waiting too long to speak up. They said he should have defended Melody sooner or used his platform to call out Martell's behavior earlier. Still, most people understood Carlos was in a tough position. As an executive producer, he had to stay neutral during filming. He couldn't pick sides. But now that the season is over, he's free to tell the truth, and that's exactly what he's doing. Now let's talk about how this affected Melody. For Melody, this entire ordeal has been emotionally draining. She's tried to keep her peace, focusing on her music, her brand, and being a mother. But every time she takes a step forward, Martell's behavior drags her name back into the headlines. According to people close to her, Melody reached a point where she realized she couldn't save Martell from himself. She stopped responding to his shade, stopped entertaining his public jabs, and started protecting her peace. Carlos praised her for that. He said, "Melody represents strength. She could have stooped low, but she didn't. She chose grace, and that's why she keeps winning." That statement alone sent waves through the fandom. Because it reminded people that while Martell has been fighting battles outside himself, Melody has been doing the hard work inside herself. Healing. Growing. Letting go. Carlos said that one of the things he admires most about Melody is her resilience. Even when she's broken, she shows up. Even when she's attacked, she stays composed. He said, "She's living proof that you can walk through fire and still shine." And fans couldn't agree more. In many ways, Melody's calm silence has been louder than Martell's words. She's learned that peace isn't the absence of drama, it's choosing not to engage with it. Carlos's comments also made people reflect on the deeper message behind all this, that sometimes love isn't enough to save someone who refuses to change. But what does all of this mean for Martell now? Carlos didn't shy away from that question either. He admitted that Martell's behavior has not only hurt his image, it's hurting his career. He said, "The industry watches everything. The way you treat people matters. The energy you put out matters. And right now, Martell's energy is heavy. It's dark. And until he deals with that, he's going to keep losing." That was a powerful statement. Because behind the fame, the cameras, and the interviews, Martell is a man standing on the edge of losing it all. Carlos even revealed that he doesn't know if Martell can make a true comeback, not because he lacks opportunity, but because he refuses to change. He said, "Redemption is always possible, but it starts with accountability." And that's something Martell hasn't learned yet. It's a harsh truth, but it's the kind of truth only someone like Carlos King could deliver because he's seen it all unfold up close. Still, despite everything, Carlos ended his message with a small glimpse of hope. He said, "I believe in second chances. I believe people can grow. But growth requires humility. And I hope Martell finds that before it's too late." That line reminded everyone that behind the headlines and chaos, there's still a human story, a man and a woman who once loved each other, now divided by pain, pride, and public opinion. Carlos's honesty might just be the wake-up call Martell needs. Because at this point, fans aren't angry, they're exhausted. They've watched him fall deeper into drama, and they're ready to see him heal. Whether he listens or not is up to him. In the end, this isn't just about Martell's revenge or Melody's grace. It's about what happens when love turns into a battlefield and pride takes over. It's about the danger of refusing to let go. Carlos King's truth bomb reminded everyone watching that reality TV might show the surface, but behind every headline is a heart that's hurting. Martell once had it all: a family, success, respect. But in his fight to win, he lost the very thing that mattered most: peace. And maybe that's the real tragedy of it all. Because revenge might feel powerful in the moment, but in the end, it leaves you empty. And as Carlos King made clear, no matter how many people you blame, you can't heal until you face yourself. So now, fans are watching closely, waiting to see what Martell does next. Will he finally take accountability and grow, or will he keep walking down the same lonely road? One thing's for sure, Carlos King just said out loud what everyone's been thinking for years. And once the truth is out, there's no taking it back.